We're going live with all the platforms again, this time for streaming and looking for alpha on various ways and various channels. So we're going live. We'll be going through various tokens, and we'll be going through what's happening right now in the market, starting with, of course, Pump Fund, which got a little bit of the explosive price action thanks to the streamer coins and buybacks and everything happening around it, and justly so. So it went from the lows, basically did 3x from the lows, close to 4x basically if you look at it. Really cool to see that. Altogether the market's a little bit down. This is mostly, well, it was expected within a certain framework, because people are de-risking, and this kind of de-risking is actually happening over and over, and it's mostly about I'm going to show you in a moment what it's the reason for that. The reason for that is that people are expecting rate cuts. So if you go for Fed rate cuts, poly market, then it's probably sitting mostly around 25 BPS, which is probably already in the price. But if the Fed will cut more than that, like 50 or 75, then this will really be super bullish. But people probably are expecting a lot of volatility, and justly so. Yeah, this is the one of the, I think, markets for Fed decision in September, 18th of September, so in 2 days, and a lot of things can happen in this time span. If we don't get any kind of rate cut, then probably that's bullish for the market, and the end of September won't be that good. But altogether, I think a lot of things depends on that, because the Bitcoin price action, which is a major asset, will depend on that, and based on that, other assets, Ethereum, Solana, and then the trenches will depend on that price action. That's why you might feel like everything is falling down, apart, of course, except for a couple of projects that are doing well, because they are playing into this kind of narrative. So I think that's pretty cool. So that's what I wanted to start with. We're going to visit some of the cooler things, what I'm doing on Hyperliquid, but also I wanted to say that I did the whole tweet about how to stream on Pump Fund. If you didn't know, follow me on Twitter, and then you can find it there. It's also explaining to you, well, everything that you can do to start streaming. I think it's vital to know, especially if you haven't streamed before. It's much easier than you think. I remember trying to stream for the first time. It took me a little bit of research, so I decided to put together like everything all together. The good thing is there's like a super quick method with just 2 clicks, which is basically just creating the token, and then you just click the create coin, and then you'll be able to live stream. But also you can go if you have a coin already. I can't show you that because it's streaming. But there's going to be a button around here, start live stream. So you're going to see that, or you can browse all the live streams here live. So it's pretty easy to start this way with the camera, but if you want to have a more advanced option, then you have to go with OBS. OBS is basically a free software, open source, that you can download Windows, MacOS, Linux, so everywhere, and start streaming. It looks like that, so it might be a little bit intimidating in the beginning, but if you keep on adding sources, then and sources meaning your microphone, your video you want to share, maybe camera that's facing you, then it's pretty straightforward. So it's very easy to, for example, record your gameplay or other stuff as well. So I think that's already cool. So yeah, so this is what's happening here. Let me just check, because I think like I haven't started streaming on Twitter, so I need to go with that right now. It should be fine, but yeah, should have verified that before. So yeah, I was talking about how to start streaming, install OBS, and then once you have that, you can get from pump.fun. Once you click on start live stream, you'll be able to choose this option of either Pump Studio, which is your webcam. This is just the easiest option, or the second one being RTMP. And then you get like a key and a link, and you put that basically directly into OBS. Once you click on settings in the bottom right corner, it's going to look something like that. You have to put the service custom and then server stream key that's provided to you by pump.fun. And then you just click on start live stream, or first actually manage broadcast. If you go to this thing, you probably go, if you click on start streaming, then you can basically put all the things like where it's going to stream and what's the title and so on. But basically this is how you do it. And it's pretty easy to set it up. Also, bonus knowledge here is that you can go with multi-stream, and I think this is the best tool that I found. There are different ways to do it, but this one is, again, this is free, and this is connecting with OBS. There's something called iTunes, and iTunes multi-stream is what you want to download, and this is a resource that you can download and add to your OBS, and you'll be able to have built-in options for like Kick, YouTube, Pump.fun. So basically right now I'm streaming to 5 different places: Kick, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Pump.fun, which is pretty cool because I'm doing that only from one interface of OBS. So what I'm seeing is basically this stuff with all the screens. So I think it's pretty cool if you want to stream on different platforms, especially if you want to show different stuff, or if you are gaming, you can also customize it even more. You can start like showing different banners. Like I could use PC crypto code. I have something like that. You can use, maybe go with a particular link that you want to show. You can do a lot of different stuff. People have like chats. I haven't integrated the chat yet that will be shown directly here. There's definitely a lot of options here for what can be displayed. So there's this thing you can, if you see just faces and people doing that thing, then probably they're doing that, with a very simple option of connecting the webcam, or maybe just going through the mobile, because you can also download the app and just start streaming through the mobile. I think this is pretty cool. But yeah, I think this is the very early beginning of streaming on Pump.fun, because basically people are just trying to figure out what's happening here and use that in order to bring attention to their live stream. So I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, going back to the general markets, I just wanted to I'm going to delete that. Fed rate cuts, that's going to be interesting, definitely. And then we can also browse a little bit of what's happening here. So PumpFun was really, yesterday was the record-breaking day. They paid out like $4 million to creators, which was crazy. There were so many people trying to set up a stream. I think that was really the peak, but probably this is one of the peaks, one of the local tops, and there will be more because probably at some point PumpFun will rival like Kick or Twitch and other platforms like that, because they just simply pay so much content rewards that it's not, it's a no-brainer to stream also on Pump.fun. You are not losing anything. And also they are absolutely crypto friendly. This is purely crypto. So if you're trying to build crypto audience for what you're doing, or find crypto alpha, then Pump.fun might be a better idea than Kick or Twitch. They are much more open about the content, which is already a cool stuff. So yeah, so this is how it looks like. We're going to have a look at the Hyper Tracker. I just wanted to, so I'm not going to take any kind of trade right now. Probably I can show you what's happening here. We still are in the, our challenge is basically to go from $1,000 to $10,000. We got stopped on some of the plays we had. Well, actually, we're trailing stop losses. Altogether, we are almost $2,000 in profit from 1,000, so that makes it almost 3x. Trying to get into, like $9,000 profit, $10,000 total account value. Slowly growing. We got some risky plays along the way. I think tomorrow today's will be interesting. So if we start, doing nice trades on Friday, that's probably the day where a lot of things will happen. And this is where you should be looking out for action. Also, Thursday itself, depending on what will happen with the markets, might be very, very, very interesting. So we're going to have a look at what's happening. Robotics, of course, cool. I have a separate video about that, but actually, this is what I need to buy more of. Where do you have it? They used to have it here somewhere. Yeah, maybe it's not on the first page. Because it's still a pretty small category. So, yep, robotics. So you have crypto robotics, of course. That's up to you to decide how much of a sense that makes. To some extent, it makes sense if you think about the different operating systems and try to decentralize that and build something decentralized and open source. Not probably the physical robots, but who knows? Maybe it makes sense to use a blockchain in some way. But some of those projects from the top of the category, like Piku, Oki, they're basically building an operating system for robotics and other decentralized physical infrastructure. So I think that's cool. So yeah, this is the stream number 2. Also, there are cool smaller robotics stocks that I need to buy finally. They're not even available on Robinhood, some of them, so you probably have to go with something like Interactive Brokers or some other place. That's the. And also in the previous stream we opened a little bit chaotic at the moment, but my streams are mostly about finding alpha in the markets, and most of the time nothing happens, so you just keep staring at the screen and looking at different stuff. And also in the meantime, I'm trying to build a bunch of AI agents. Huge fan of this idea of having a swarm of AI agents, because the real intelligence is swarm intelligence. That's the motto here. So I'm having I have a bunch of agents working for me and trying to scale that for better analysis of different information, and then using that as well in action for creating content, trade ideas, and so on. I, for example, just recently tested an AI agent connected to my email, so it answers, all like business emails in a way. It went pretty well, not really well how I would go with the conversation, but it managed to, book me a call somewhere, so pretty cool already. So this is what I'm building. This is purely internal for my own users. I don't plan on selling software for now, at least. So I'm mostly in trying to trade my way up, plus building internal tools for trading and creating more content, because I think content plus trading is my sweet spot, because you can go hard on the technology part as well as try to do something interesting as well. So yeah, Fed rate cuts, that's something that I wanted to have a look at more of. Yeah, also pretty cool stuff is that Base is expecting to have a token, or at least they are open to considering a token. That's the narrative, which probably means that they are going to do it at some point. So you might expect a Base token, which is cool. If you are farming Base in any way, that might be a good thing for you. If you just use it in any normal way, I expect you to be qualified in some extent, but I wouldn't have very high hopes of it, because basically so far all the airdrops for different L2s were super small. I think the last one, which was really big, was Optimism, maybe Arbitrum. Those were the first two ones, from the different L2s. But then you had something like Scroll, Linea, a bunch of other stuff that, quickly forgotten because basically you got peanuts, even if you were farming quite a lot. So people basically stopped farming this. It's much more profitable right now. If you were to farm, then the best for farming right now is Lighter. If you go with Lighter, then definitely check it out. This is after Hyperliquid is probably the best thing that I used in a long time. I tend to give out the codes in various ways on my channel, but they're quickly going out, and you just get like 3 codes per week for usage. So sometimes I'm getting 3, sometimes getting 6. But it's really limited number. So if you haven't joined, you can still join. I think there's like a couple of weeks until the TGE. So I think they try to do the token generation even by the end of the year, and they are really, really cool. I don't think I'm logged in on here, so I'm not going to go in and show you. But basically, it's very fast, very cool, and because they are in private beta, you really don't pay much fees. They try to minimize the fees that they take, which is very cool. So unless you have super huge size, then this is a great option because, of course, liquidity is much smaller than Hyperliquid. So if you're trying to put like massive positions, then it won't work. But other than that, if you just trading around, trade on Lighter because there's going to be an airdrop and it's probably going to be pretty cool. It's very hard to get points right now, but this is a good thing in a way because if you have points that are hard to get, then you know that actually they will be worth something. That's the expectation. I saw that people are buying points OTC for $11 per point. You can even get them for some are even selling for like $30. So the offers like that, but most of the action is around $11-12, which is a pretty good deal if you think about it and if you try to farm it. But again, it's going to be hard. I mean, I'm trading sometimes quite a lot on Lighter, and still I'm getting like 2, 3, 4 points. So there's I don't know exactly the mechanism that they give you the points out, but it's definitely worth trying. So have a look, try trading, and then you might get a nice airdrop in the end. Another example of that would be Extended. But they're purely this Extended is purely volume based. I think you get points basically by how much volume you put in, so it's a little bit less interesting in a sense, because the biggest winners here will be whales, and at least people who manage to get delta neutral positions very fast and go both directions. On the other hand, here you pay quite a lot of fees, so at least you know where the airdrop is coming from. This is coming from the fees that you're paying to the platform. But still, Extended will be probably a very good airdrop as well in the end. So, but you have more time to farm Extended as far as I've been seeing. So if you want to start with farming Lighter. Okay, this was the pure discussion of after Brian base token. Main competitor of PumpFun being TikTok, pretty interesting. Might be at some point. I mean, what's really missing from Pump.fun, especially if you look at live streams, is some kind of discoverability. Or TikTok is really far away. Maybe on mobile, I don't know how it works, but on mobile it might have some chance. But yeah, I wouldn't say TikTok is a competitor to PumpFun, not in the current state. I mean, you would really have to have clips. Sometimes you have clips of those. I think you can see them, but you need something else to happen here. Yeah, looking at the general price action, if we go back to CoinGecko, then if you don't have any kind of position, then I would wait, or at least this is hard to pick a direction. And of course, do your research before jumping into any kind of position. Let me check what are whales doing here on the money printer. That's the most interesting category. So money printer is the category of people that have at least $1 million in P&L. So it's always good to have a look at what they're doing. They're mostly bullish here, slightly bullish Ethereum, slightly bullish Solana, slightly bullish Hype, super bullish on Pump, and slightly bearish XRP 3, and then indecisive about a couple of other places, a couple of other assets. So it's cool to see what they're doing. So for example, guys like the White Whale, he managed pretty well. He was super bullish recently, so it's worth having a look. Well, he's still, I think, holding the position. So he has like massive ETH long, which is pretty cool. So he didn't close that at the peak. At the peak, he had like $100 million. Pretty crazy. In P&L, that's a little bit less. Well, yeah, 21, and that's purely right now. He has around 50 million. So basically, he was halved from his peak, which was like 2-3 weeks ago. And he's still holding probably a lot of staked Hype for having lower fees. That's of course making sense, but he's still holding. This is pretty bullish. He's holding 22,000 ETH altogether. The value of that is basically $100 million, and he had the entry at $4,600. So that's a pretty bullish position here. We're going to see what will happen, of course. Let's have a look at a couple of other guys in the money printer sector. There are a couple of them being very bearish. This guy has a huge exposure as well, 13x of the whole account, because you can of course have huge leverage, but then a lot of collateral. Oh yeah, he's on the short side, getting paid quite a lot with funding, so it seems like he's holding that position for quite some time. He's like minus $8 million, but thanks to funding, he has like $6 million. And the value of his position is basically $200 million altogether. Pretty crazy. And it seems like he has like a much smaller ETH position, but compared to his Bitcoin position, that's like, much smaller. So yeah, this is a pretty cool one. Coinmarketman.com. Really cool website. If you want to check it, please do. Completely free to use. I'm not affiliated in any way. I just like it and tend to come here often because you can, with Hyperliquid being entirely on chain, you can basically see everything that's happening. So that's super cool. Yeah, you're getting messages like that people need help with mortgages, and having basically, it's much harder out there for people having normal jobs. That there might be an end to the bubble. So I'm still scared, like not going. So there's a lot of people going from crypto to stocks, and I'm thinking of doing the same to a certain extent, especially investing in like AI, robotics, quantum, nuclear. That's probably the 4 domains that I really like. Did a lot of research, probably will share in a future streams what kind of stocks I'm looking at. The problem is I still didn't buy, besides like, I don't know, Tesla, I didn't buy a lot, is that I still fear that there's a bubble. I mean, but still, this kind of bubble can take years to unwind. And it's really hard to decide because on the other hand, you have USD, which is of course printed to oblivion. There's a problem with that budget, but then you don't really want to have, you don't want to buy all those bloated stocks that already have so high valuations. You don't want to buy, I don't know, at least I don't want to buy like gold or silver, which are all at all-time highs and so on. Uranium looks cool, but then, like the price of uranium is also high. There's so many different stuff that looks super overvalued. So yeah, really hard to see. I'm right now, I'm more on the short term of trading, because I don't really understand the long term. I don't know what can happen. Then and we're going to see. That's why I'm, like, for example, going in and out of like smaller coins, basically trying to get out of like majors. I'm or at least holding them. I like buying things like ETH or Bitcoin recently on just on leverage using perps, rather than trying to hold them on spot. I've basically been selling Ethereum on the way up, that I still hold a little bit, but not that much. And I'm just looking at the price action, because I think risk to reward ratio is not that great, because objectively how high Ethereum can go, like I would say, even if it goes to like $6,000, $8,000, so 2x from here, the risk of Ethereum going back to like 2,000 or 1,500 is really large, and I would rather wait and not get this price action and just invest in something else. Yeah, this is a valid point of Alex Becker of like having too many tokens being created, and we probably want to have just like one token doing something. There's no utility yet, but well, utility would be easier to have it if you have it in build, because that's how if the platform itself, like if you were able to, for example, use those coins created to then have a Discord channel, then of course you can do it yourself, you can code everything, but this is just much harder to do if you just an ordinary dude trying to figure out trading or streaming, and you just want to have fun on pump.fun. Then it's much harder to do that, and it could work a little bit like friend tech to a certain extent, so that if you have a live stream and if you join that and if you buy a couple of coins, then you are able to chat privately with the streamer. This would definitely make sense, and I think this is what's being posted by Alex Becker. Yeah, Tesla is doing amazingly well. If you bought Tesla, basically the moment Musk announced its plan, I think it's the plan number 3 for this Optimus, all the robots, and how they're going to go into becoming a $1 trillion company, then you would be up already by a couple of percent or more. I think more. What they went like, what's the Tesla stock? Yeah, in the past couple of days, 20% up. So yeah, this is pretty crazy. It's really hard to fade Elon because he's doing a lot of cool stuff. So if you're looking for cool companies, definitely start with Tesla and then go down. One of the other cool companies that I have on my list is Hyundai. Hyundai, if you didn't know, bought Boston Dynamics at some point. So Boston Dynamics are those kind of robots that are doing funny tricks, and have viral videos with them. They of course experts at doing humanoids as well. So this is pretty cool, and they are bought by Hyundai. So that's already cool. And there's a couple of companies from Japan doing industrial robots. So I should do a separate stream just about like robotic stocks, because I think that's interesting. But I need to figure out whether I want to buy them myself, and probably we're going to do some buying on stream. I think that would be pretty cool to shift a little bit of the capital from crypto into stocks, or maybe just do something separately. So that's worth considering. Yep. So basically, we're waiting. We're waiting until Thursday, until probably rate cuts, or maybe not, depending on how hard this will go. We're going to see what will happen. But yeah, volatility might be crazy. This might be a good moment to actually buy options if you're more inclined to take risk, like derive or the rebate. This might be a good idea to actually have, a couple of call options for if the, or you could have the, I've forgotten how the position is called, but you can do this kind of spread where you actually buy both call options and put options with the spread between the prices, because you basically are betting on the volatility. So you're buying out of the money options in order to profit when the price move quite a lot. And this might happen because the premise here is that nothing is really priced in here when it comes to rate cuts, and depending on how high they will go, the price will go a lot higher or a lot lower, and we're going to see what will happen. Okay, this is going to be it probably for this stream. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, or just DM me directly on Twitter. We're going to do more streams in the upcoming days as well, and probably a little bit of trading in the next streams as well. Thanks for watching, and see